Okay, so for me, I think an important issue about waste right now are the lives of people who are working in waste. It's through them that we can, and the stories they have to tell about waste, that we can learn about the afterlives of things that we discard and forget about. And it's through them that waste comes back and re-enters into society and is given new value. So yeah, I think looking at the lives of people who work in waste are very important.
The most important issue is that we produce too much waste and we talk and do too little about it. When we talk about it, we talk about what to do with the waste. We should stop talking about that. We should start talking about how should we not produce waste.
Okay, I think one of the most important things around waste is how we understand it, because it does mean different things to different people. But I also think it's really complex, and I think it also exposes vulnerabilities. And I think that's really important to look at.
The most important issue in waste, first is waste is a resource, and the other one is participation of community and society in waste management. In the context of developing economy, I think participation of community and wide stakeholders in waste management is key.
So what is the most important issue in waste theory? As a philosopher, I would say that it's very important that we think about the concept of waste. So what do we talk about when we talk about waste? Is it even a thing? Might it not be a relation, for example? And so one of the most interesting concepts in waste theory that I've come across in the past years is the concept of the Wasteocene by Marco Armiero, I'm sorry. And Armiero argues that we should not focus on waste things, but focus on wasting relations. And our time, our day and age, that he calls not the Anthropocene, but the Wasteocene, is characterized by these wasting relations, which leads to both people, animals, things, of course, ecosystems, whatever, being wasted. And I think that's important, an important concept to work with and think about.
So from the point of view of the built environment, the biggest issue with waste is a reliance on primary production and extraction. And so what we really need to do is move towards bioregenerative materials and reuse and repurposing.
Yes, for me, waste means different things to different people in different contexts. And the most important thing right now is how we conceptualize what waste is, as this also helps us to identify different strategies to address waste challenges.
So to me, the most important thing about the waste is probably to realize that we need to shift from disposable society to the new model where we will appreciate all the materials and our resources much more.
So the most important thing in waste, particularly in the waste that I work with and research in, plastic waste and single-use disposable packaging, is definitely dealing with volume, entanglement, and of course creating different relations. In the sense of the volume is a constant production that always referred in the media, the tap has been open and hasn't been stopped of producing the single-use plastics. In the case of the entanglement, I'm relating to the times of Anthropocene, which means that every single plastic particles by now is entangled with every single aspect of the bodies and the species on a planetary level. So we have these mergers of the human society as a globalization with the planetary society, with non-human others, that it's kind of merged or created or connected through the aspects of plastics. So of course I often talk about the thing theory, which I borrow from Bill Brown, which is heavily influenced by Heideggerian notions of thinking the thing, but also it's important to relate of how do we relate to this nearness aspect of everyday life where we are surrounded by these plastic things, and how do we create those relations and how those relations then become some kind of an ontological connection to the nature, as we are the part of that.
So thinking as waste as non-living entity is one of the most, common mistake that we do as human beings, as a member of the planet. And for this reason, if we have to think about these case studies, we have to think also about waste as something that has a vitality.